Welcome to day one of the garage sessions. We're not doing sessions. I'm just sitting in my garage. This is like kind of a comfy place for me. I just thought it'd be a cool place to discuss like music and life-related musician things. If there's one thing musicians discuss, probably more than anything else, it's equipment. Look, I have a guitar. My general thought on equipment is if you want to up your game or buy a certain piece of equipment, fast forward to the point in the future that you have it already. Now, if you're honest with yourself, do you regret not buying it earlier? Almost always for me, the answer is yes. I wish I bought it earlier because I would have been able to do this, this, and this. My show would have been better. Could I have progressed faster? Etc. Right? Now, that's not always the case, but let me take that idea and circle it back for beginner musicians. What are the first things you should buy? Now, this is a really difficult question because my advice on beginner's equipment is weirdly counterintuitive to the expensive stuff, and that is get the cheap cheap stuff you can. That's guitar, that's cables, that's pedals, all of the stuff. The reason behind this is, yes, there's going to be a bunch of stuff that you get and you're like, I don't even know why I bought this, but it's cool that you tried it. Guaranteed there's going to be a handful of things that you try, you really resonate with it for some reason, whether it's just a great pedal or it's something that really feeds your soul with music. So my advice then is, once you start refining those things, then get the best version. I don't necessarily mean the most expensive, but I mean the version that you would see yourself playing high-end gigs with. I know it sounds really strange to go from 0 to 100 like immediately, but if you consider someone like myself, it's probably a really good example. I have 26 guitars, right? And of those, there's maybe 8 that are good. So the other 16 to 18 guitars are kind of like, I bought them because they were a bit better. Or this is the next one. I'm going to spend $1,000 on this guitar and it's going to be really great because the one that I had before, it was $600. And you just keep on burning money on guitars that in hindsight now, there's no way I would ever use them gigging. The guitars that I play are of a certain industry standard that if I had have just bought these 8 guitars that I ended up with, I would have saved like a lot of money, a lot of money. And that's the same across all things. That's pedals, that's microphones especially. Like I've spent so very much money on microphones and speakers and equipment. And the problem is all that intermediate margin, right? If you buy cheap, I have no affiliation with any of these, but I'd really advise checking out Behringer. I mean, they're quite a cheap brand, but they're quite big in the industry. They've got some very cheap products. Alto is great as well. Mac Ear, actually, you can get some used stuff, pretty good quality. But beyond all of that, then I would get the higher end equipment. I want to slip in a side note here and say that you don't need to buy brand new as well. There's a lot of things, speakers especially, cables I would buy brand new, but speakers and pedals, guitar pedals and that sort of stuff, some instruments, you can find a used electric guitar or a used guitar pedal that might have been loved by somebody that's just, not interested in that anymore, or they need the money for something else. And, it's kind of win-win. They get to part and see it go to a good home, and you get to take a good quality piece of equipment for a lot cheaper price. Finally, this is probably the most important bit. Your show, your equipment, your performance, your act should be 1 to 2 steps above wherever you're currently playing. By that, I mean, if you're playing in bars and cafes and clubs and stuff, and you want to play in theaters, then I would have a setup designed to play in theaters. My point is, the philosophy should be, I will get the stuff first to then be ready for the performance, instead of get the gig that I want and then get all of my stuff ready for the gig. It never works that second way. It only ever works as if you appear that you play better shows than what you're already playing. And that always works out, because then if you get a call, which happens every now and then, that's a bigger, better show than you've ever played before, then you're completely ready for it. You have all of your stuff professionally laid out and ready to go. That's what I always try to strive for, and that is what's been pretty successful for me in terms of production, being my own kind of audio tech geek guy. I just want to say thanks for tuning in, and hopefully this helps somebody. So please comment below if you have anything to add or anything that you completely disagree or agree with. Love you guys. Talk soon.